welcome to my late Monday night Raw wrap-up. This is the first time I've done this on a Tuesday. I think I might have done it last week on Tuesday. In fact, I think I did do it last Tuesday, didn't I? Yeah, so this is going to be the new time slot for me to do the WWE Raw review for weird personal reasons, which I won't go into. So this is going to be like a semi-permanent thing now. I might still do the odd wrap-up. Like live if I do get a chance, but mostly it's going to be 10:30 at night. Like I always do, just at the start, just to make you guys aware that this will be this will be available even on YouTube videos, hopefully by sort of tomorrow afternoon, and it will be available as a podcast on YouTube Podcasts, I believe it's called, hopefully. It wants to be after all this time. Yes, that'll be available to listen to as an audio as well, roughly the same time, basically. Quick bit of admin, just to say in terms of the rest of the week, I'm going to be doing a live stream tomorrow night for that team there, which I'll talk about later. There's going to be another live stream for Leeds Light Night, which I'll tell you about later as well the next day. Also AEW Dynamite if you're a Dynamite fan, and there'll be no SmackDown live stream this week, I don't think, unless I get time, but there will be a Brentford versus Liverpool live stream. Yay, really looking forward to that one, obviously. Yeah, so lots of cool stuff coming up, so I'll let you know what's going on. But yeah, we might as well just dive into it just to make you guys aware that if you keep seeing my head turn, obviously I tell my subscribers this, I'm not clever enough to remember all this stuff in my mind, so I am referring to my trusty laptop, which is where you can see a screen shining out of my glasses. Because yeah, we don't have technology around here. Yeah, so might as well jump into it really. So basically, Raw started off and they did the usual thing where they were introducing the city and so on and so forth, and then they went to Adam Pearce in the ring, and straight away when Pearce was in the ring, I was like, well, I mean, basically it's Rollins, isn't it? And he basically confirmed that Seth Rollins is in fact injured and he's going to be out injured for, I think he said, an indefinite amount of time, which I did talk about this on a video earlier if you want to have a look at the channel, which is Geek Boy, what's it, Geek Boy Meta 7381, I think, or just click on the video that you are watching and you will see the channel, obviously. The Rollins injury I find quite fascinating, to be honest, because it's like the amount of storytelling things that you can get from that. Yeah, like it's incredible now, the options that they've got and the ways that they could go. So yeah, I'll talk about that a bit later. But basically, Pearce confirms that Rollins is out. But before he did that, it cut to this video of the rest of the Vision arriving, and the Vision turn up in this like not stretched limo, like this big ass car basically. I don't drive and I don't know anything about cars, so if someone can tell me what it is, a Hummer or something like that, I don't know. Anyway, so they turn up, come through the ring, and it's a bit weird actually because Bron Breakker is actually carrying Seth's world title, and he walks into the ring and basically Pearce tells them off for what they did to Seth last week, and then he's basically like, Bron, I need the world title back. And there was this really weird segment where Bron was making Pearce say please and pretty please to get the belt back, and Heyman kept saying like, what are you doing, just give him the belt back kind of thing. So it was a bit strange, and then Pearce basically announced there was going to be a tournament, which is obviously the thing that Jay went on to win, and he said that there'd be a battle royal tonight, obviously tomorrow or early this morning, US time, and yeah, just announced there will be a battle royal later on in the evening. So basically, the whole thing of this being an angle is done. Like I said in my video earlier, and I'll hold my hands up if I've got this wrong. If it's an angle, because I've been thinking about this as well, and if Seth really is running an angle that he, oh, actually, let me have a look. Oh, comment from Tavares. Oh, thank you, Tavares. Joe Lewis or Ali? Oh, see, I didn't. Unfortunately, I wasn't blessed enough to watch him, mate. To be honest, I used to watch old Ali fights with my dad. What was the one he had? The one that my old fella used to make me watch, the Joe Fraser one. I think was it Joe Fraser and Ali? I can't remember, but the Rumble in the Jungle one. My dad like watched that like loads and loads and loads, so he made me watch it. I'm more of a Tyson person. Not that I particularly like Tyson, but I watched a lot of his matches back on the day on ITV. It was the one time my dad let me stay up. I saw him knock out Frank Bruno in Tokyo, I think it was, in 87, 88. So that was pretty cool. Rich Wales said, hi. Hi, Rich Wales. How you doing, mate? You're all right. So yeah, so basically Raw starts from there, and the Vision are basically told get lost, so they go to the back. I was going to say Raw was quite fast paced actually. I don't know if it's been as good as the last 2 or 3 weeks, but it was quite enjoyable. It didn't really stop again, to be honest. So we went straight into Dragon Lee versus the Judgment Day. As in McDonough, whose name I can never bloody pronounce, and obviously Finn Balor. By the way, this is just my opinion. I really hope they split Finn Balor up. We need old school Finn Balor back as a singles wrestler. No offense to the rest of the Judgment Day, but that man needs to be going for world titles, and he's still young enough, and it's been long enough now. I think I want to see Finn against Punk, AJ Styles, Rawlins when he comes back, Roman, and so on and so forth, because he shouldn't be in that position, really. It's just my opinion. So, Billy J. Bongo, or is it Dobby? That's a cool name. CM Punk, nice top. Oh, cheers, my man. Thank you very much. Yeah, bought this in. That's a very good question. About 3 years ago off eBay, I think, something along them lines. I tried to get the new Punk top at WWE Leeds because I went to the live show here where I live, and they really didn't have any shirts. They only had that new shirt that Punk wears. You know, that yellow thingy one where it just says Punk on the side. Like, I've always loved this one, and that one's kind of like, I don't know. I just like the Chicago thing that he's got on. So, but that's just me. Yeah. So we had Dragon Lee versus AJ Styles. Try again. Dragon Lee and AJ Styles versus JD McDonough and the aforementioned Finn Balor. Now, this match was excellent. It was so good. I would thoroughly recommend anyone to watch it. It was definitely match of the night for me. It was absolutely brilliant. Just the psychology and the way that they kept the match going really fast and stuff. It's not the most scientific explanation you'll ever hear. There's far more people who are far more qualified to give you an in-depth analysis than me. I will just tell you, for wrestling match is good, and it was awesome. Really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed JD McDonough. I seriously think when the Judgment Day implodes, which looks like it's coming sooner rather than later, I think JD, if you give him a bit of a character and you give him a story arc, I don't know about heavyweight title, but he's definitely got an intercontinental run in him. He's such a talented lad. So, yeah, no, it was just really good. But much to my surprise, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee actually went over, so they've given Styles a title on the way out. Obviously, they're going to partner him with Dragon Lee now, because I would have thought Styles was probably asked to work with him because he sees something with him. He wouldn't be wasting his time if he didn't see some talent. But yeah, it's kind of sunk in now that AJ Styles is going to be gone. I don't want to offend anyone, but I'm probably going to be more gutted about him going than John Cena. I'm not having to go at John Cena at all. Obviously, he's world-class wrestler and he's been brilliant for God knows how many years. But just for me personally, because I've seen AJ in Manchester wrestling for TNA 4 or 5 times. I used to watch him back in the day as well, when TNA first started up. He's one of my favourites of all time, and I'm really going to miss him, to be honest. And I really hope WWE keep him on in some capacity, because obviously the depth of knowledge that man has is superb. So yeah, just a little shout out to AJ Styles. Dobby again. Who do you think Cena's last match will be? See, Dobby, to be honest, I was pretty settled on Gunther, which I know hasn't gone down very well with some people. Now, I know some people shout at me for this, but there's a part of me I would love them not to announce it and all of a sudden Joe Hendry's music to hit, because I think the internet would break basically. But I kind of get you can't have it being Joe Hendry. Don't think it'll be Roman. It could be The Rock, maybe. But now you've got this split, I do wonder whether there's something in the Vision storyline now. Maybe it's going to be Bron Breakker, but you would imagine that they've planned out a year beforehand who Cena's going to go up against, and obviously Gunther's not been on TV, which means they can start the feud when Cena comes back at Survivor Series, because obviously he's got the Raw before Survivor, then he's got Survivor, then he's got his last Raw, then he's got the Saturday night's main event in Washington, I think it is. So I think it's going to be Gunther, but I'm guessing he might maybe put over Dominic Mysterio before he goes. I wouldn't be surprised if Cena loses all his matches now, to be honest. I think he might win one more. I think they'll just have one more where they're like, where they don't announce his match, basically, which I'm guessing might be the Mysterio match, but then they'll announce the Gunther match. I mean, see, the trouble with his last opponent is you've done CM Punk, you've done Randy Orton, you've done Cody Rhodes, you've done Logan Paul, you've kind of done Jey Uso because they obviously met in a tag. You've now done Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens would have been great, but obviously he's not available to work with. It's not going to be the NXT people. I mean, I'd really, because they did tease him and Joe Hendry, and I really would like. I don't think Joe Hendry should be the last match, but I really would like to see Joe Hendry get his match against Cena, because I just think it'd be really good, and they do seem to get along quite well, those two. So I haven't lost hope that Joe Hendry's going to face Cena, but I think last match I'd be very surprised now if it's not Gunther, to be honest. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. What else? We've got Rusev. Yeah, so it's Rusev and Dom. Match was okay. I liked the start of it when Dom basically dived out to the ring when Rusev was giving it the big one to the crowd, sort of jump started the match. And then after that, it was, I don't know, it was just kind of a repeat of the last week's match. And I didn't really understand the Penta thing either, because Penta comes along, Rusev throws Dom out the ring, Penta comes along and starts having to go at Dom. But then Rusev I think he accidentally bumps into Penta, and then that causes Rusev to lose his concentration, and somehow Dom beats him exactly the same way that he did the week previously. And I'm like, yeah, I guess. I mean, I know obviously they're trying to give Dom, like, sorry, I'm just looking for my next stuff. Yeah, so I know they're trying to give Dom like the rub and everything, but it's like, well, Rusev's put him over like 2 or 3 times now. What are we doing here, kind of thing. So yeah, the match was all right. It was what it was, but other match was I was going to bloody hell, Maxine Dupree. I was going to say Jermaine Dupree versus Becky Lynch. Oh my good god. For the younger people amongst you, Jermaine Dupree, who you might not know, I don't know because you're not old like me, was a hip hop producer in the early 90s. I don't know if he's still doing it now, but just to confirm, Becky Lynch did not wrestle Jermaine Dupree. Yes, but the match was all right. Dupree's improving. I think obviously she's benefited from working with Bex, who's really worked to put her and Lyra over. So fair play to Bex for that. Yeah, it was a good effort by Maxine. I'm still not completely sold on her, to be completely honest, but it was a DQ finish in the end as well, which is kind of cheap because it's like technically Maxine Dupree's beat Becky Lynch twice, but once. It kind of makes her look a bit stupid now, because the only reason she's beat Becky Lynch is because Becky was giving it large to the crowd and giving it the big one and forgot that she was being counted out, and then the week later she just gets hit with a belt, and then it's like, yay for Maxine, I guess, sort of thing. But yeah, let me just have a look at the comments, because I can just see there's people who are going in now. So we've got Billy J again. I think it will be Kurt as a shot. Ooh. Ooh. don't think that'll happen, Billy. But I tell you what, that's not a bad shout actually. To be honest, I've not even thought of Kurt Angle. I mean, what? I mean, obviously symmetry-wise, that would be amazing because Cena's first match, not in because obviously he used to work for what was it, FCW before they became NXT. But his first live SmackDown match was Kurt Angle, so I mean that would be yeah, that would be absolute. That actually that's a really good shout. I don't think it will happen, but I think that would be absolutely amazing. Good shout, that mate. Hi Isaac, you alright? Isaac Delgado, we've spoke before, haven't we? Hey Geek Boy, I'm going to WWE Elimination Chamber. Oh, nice one, mate. Next year in Chicago, Pizza and Coke, there, All State Arena. Oh, dude, like that. I if there's anywhere, any arena, and it's not me trying to pick up Chicago or anything, but obviously I used to watch the Attitude Era when they used to go to the All State when Austin was blowing up and everything, and like consistently the best. I mean, obviously you have decent crowds in Boston, in New York, in I don't know Dallas when Austin was really really hot. But I always loved when WWE went to Chicago. I think my favourite arena memory from watching was when this guy beat Cena at Money in the Bank. I don't think I've ever heard. I mean, obviously I wasn't there, but I've never heard a crowd that loud as in when Punk came out, and it literally had to turn the TV down. Mrs. nearly came downstairs and was like, "What are you doing?" Um, but yeah, no, I'd love to go to the All State, mate. That'll be absolutely awesome. Yeah, I'm having a really good time, my friend. Yay, I'm here, mate. How you doing, fella? You all right? Yo, I went to Airsoft on Sunday. Yes, I remember. I got shot in the head and knuckle. Ouch. Ouch. I hope you're okay, mate, now. What's on the agenda today? Just talking about Monday Night Raw. No, I'm him. What is that? Whoa, 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 whoa. What are you chatting about? Just Monday Night Raw, dude. I want to see Penta become a champion because I think it. Yes, Logan, definitely. Like I would. Because I'm probably going to anger quite a few of you now, but the whole Dominic Mysterio thing. I keep saying this. I think Dominic Mysterio is a fantastic heel, and I tell you what, he's a superb work of fair play. I'm trying to think how to explain this. I get why people like him because of his work. I don't get how they think he's awesome because of the character he portrays, if that makes any sense. Because I know they're trying to do like Eddie Guerrero a bit 2.0, but like Eddie was, I mean, God rest his soul, Eddie was one of the most charismatic wrestlers that you will ever see. The man was a sensational performer. I'm not saying Dom won't be, but to me, if that's what they're doing, I think Dom's just a bit more snarky kind of thing, and he's a bit more snarky like today's sort of wrestling fan snarky. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe it could just be the age gap. I have acknowledged this myself because obviously I watched Eddie Guerrero. I used to watch him in WCW back in the day, let alone when he was in WWE. And he always had that personality. He was always cocky. He could do the romance stuff. He was a magnificent wrestler. He could do funny angles. He could do serious angles, like the Dominic thing. Obviously, Dom Mysterio himself. That could have been the drizzling you know what's, but Eddie found a way to make that work with Rey Mysterio. And then obviously there was when he won the world title belt, when a certain other wrestler whose name I will not mention also won at the same time, they hugged. Um, yes, I do like Dom Mysterio as a heel, but like I said, I don't get why he's getting the crowd reactions when people think he's awesome because of his character. If you see what I mean, I do really really appreciate and like his work. So I don't know. I'm 45. It's probably just me being a grumpy old man, but still, anyway. I'm okay, but if hurt, ow. I did I'm him, yes, but subsequently I've actually forgot yet again. I actually put it on the computer after we last spoke to have a look, and basically it's dribbled out of my brain, so I forgot again now. My brain is shot to pieces, basically, so you could tell me where you could give me a 3-digit code for like £6 billion in a safe and I would forget it. So yeah, sorry. Eddie had to be one of the most dominant person in wrestling RIP. Yes, mate. I'll tell you a quick story actually. I actually went to Manchester Arena in I forget when Eddie died now. Was it 2000? Can someone let me know? Did Eddie go in 2006 or 2007? It might even be 2005. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but just generally I forgot the year. Anyway, about 2 months afterwards, WWE actually came to England and came to Manchester, and I took along an Eddie Guerrero sign on the train because I actually went on my own. So I go to a lot of the wrestling things on my own because I am weird, but hey ho. And yeah, I held the sign up, and it was actually John Cena. To be fair, they did a steel cage match, I think, and I want to say it was John Cena versus Triple H. It was a house show, something along the lines, and Cena won. He went over. It might not have been Triple H, I can't remember who it was. Anyway, Cena gets on top of this cage and he gets a sign from the fan that says "Rest in peace, Eddie Guerrero," and he literally held it up on the cage. So I held mine back at Cena, and he didn't like um, acknowledge me. Let's see what I did there. But like it was sort of in my line of vision, so that was really really cool. I think that will be the biggest match for. Sorry, Logan. There was a comment before that. I think when it's John Cena's last match, it should be against The Rock on the. Yes, Logan. To be honest, I when I was thinking about who is the biggest, see, there's two things with this. If you want the biggest match, it needs to be basically Roman, Punk, or um, The Rock. You're not going to get any bigger than that now at this stage. Um, Possibly Seth could have done it, but I mean he's obviously out now. So those are the three biggest names that you could possibly get. If you want Cena to put someone over and light a rocket up their arse, then you go for Gunther, Bron Breakker. A few months ago, I would have said Jacob Fatu, but obviously he's lost all his heat now because WWE have booked him absolutely woefully the last few months. Which don't even get me started on WWE's booking of Jacob Fatu. I mean, I've really enjoyed WWE this year, but I mean the booking of the man since WrestleMania has been nothing short of atrocious, absolutely atrocious, and they've wasted a huge opportunity with him. Um, Other than that, I don't know. I quite like the Kurt Angle idea now, to be honest, realize it. But yeah, The Rock would be insane. But if it's The Rock, because like I said, I think there's a Raw before Survivor Series, so I want to say Cena's back on Raw in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So you would have thought The Rock would have to be on either that or Survivor Series, and then it would kind of tie up the whole loose ends with the whole Cody storyline because we never really got finished to it. So yeah, that would be really good, mate, as well. But then you'd have other people saying, "Well, we've already seen The Rock and John Cena to death." So, basically, whoever he wrestles now, it's not going to please everyone. Like I said, at the start of the year, I would have loved it to have been Joe Hendry, just from a personal point of view. But obviously now I understand you can't just have Joe Hendry in that match because people are just going to be like, what are we doing? Do I have any disabilities? Disability. I not so much the disability I'm in, but basically I've got this. About 7 or 8 months ago, I didn't know I had this. I got diagnosed with I don't know what it's called, stress and anxiety. There's a name for it, and it's one of these where I can keep it under control most of the time, but then I'm trying to think of an example. So I'll be in the park or something like that, minding my own business, looking at my phone, reading a book, having a cup of tea, and all of a sudden something in me will go, and it's like the world's ending for like a couple of minutes, and I'm like, why am I upset for? So it's not a disability as such, but I've kind of got a thing with that. So it's what is it again? I got diagnosed with stress anxiety. You think I'd know this actually? Stress anxiety and something. It's like a thing like depression, but it's not depression. if you see what I mean, kind of thing. So, not so much a disability, but basically since I got that, I've been like forgetting things and stuff. So I've had to have like a whole, I don't know, course of like medication and so on and so forth to like kind of get my um, energy levels, to try and get my emotional levels right, if you see what I mean. Because genuinely, I was always like this up until about a year ago, and then I went in to see someone, and they were like, "Have you not spoke to anyone about this before?" And I was like, "No, that's how everyone feels, right?" And they were like, "Not really, no." So I was like, "Oh, right, okay, fair enough." So yeah. Long story short, do I have a disability? No, but I've got conditions where I keep joking about looking at the laptop. I've got to have it there because I genuinely cannot remember. I can remember bits and pieces of Raw or when I do Liverpool and stuff, but I just can't remember, mate, unfortunately. So, yeah, yeah. Thank you for the question. By the way, I love the hat with the t-shirt. Cheers, my man. Thank you. Yeah, it's one of my favourite outfits. This one. With the glasses as well, it's a perfect outfit. Oh, cheers. I wish I didn't have to wear glasses, mine, but I've worn glasses since I was 16, so it's wore off a dog's back now. Have I got my Liverpool bottle? No, not today. I've actually got this guy here. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, no, I've got a Star Wars one today, mate. My Liverpool ones, there's one upstairs and there's another one in the fridge. I've also got something that is not water next to me that I shall be, because I've got a couple of days off, I shall be drinking that when I leave all of you and watching a horror film. Uh, for YouTube purposes, yes, it's obviously water. Anyway, do I have ADHD? I never got tested for it. There's a couple of members of my family that have got it, and I've always been told like maybe you should go for a test or something like that. But dude, I've got like that many things like that I need testing and stuff. I've also got this condition called sleep apnea now, which is like totally awesome. Basically, the sleep apnea thing, it's like a thickening of your neck. The thickening of your neck. One of the things is where you can just like fall asleep in random places, and then you actually kind of stop breathing in the middle of the night, and a lot of it's due to potentially like having quite a bit of skin, because as you can see, uh, I'm not the slimmest lad in the world, basically. So, to say the least. But yeah, so I've got that as a condition. So that's also really, really good. Oh, I've also just been told I've got diabetes as well, I think. So, yay, great. Yeah. Anyway, enough about my medical stuff, but thanks for asking. Logan again. I like Jacob. He's really good, but I want to see him get a put. Yeah, no, mate, I completely agree. Completely agree. When he first came out to WWE, because he was model. To be honest, Logan, that's the thing that really, really annoys me. I'm just trying to think what the timeline is. So when Jacob, he was just getting to WrestleMania, and he was kind of teasing a split with Solo, and Solo was meant to be the guy, but the crowd were just going mental for Jacob Fatu, and then they had that Saturday night main event with him and Braun Strowman, and that was the one where the crowd just went wild for him, and I was just like, wow, this guy is going to be a star. It was when he kept doing that knee into the ring kind of thing. And I thought, right, they've got a star here. They need to just put a rocket pack on his back. And then, to be fair to WWE, they got him at WrestleMania to beat LA Knight. And LA Knight was super over. He puts Jacob over. And I'm thinking, right, we're off to the races. Then what they did was they kept him with Solo Sikoa. And that is your problem. Because again, feel free to disagree, everyone, by the way. I know there's quite a few Solo fans out there. I am not. I don't want to be rude. I'm not a fan of Solo Sikoa at all. I appreciate his work. I think he's a very exceptionally good wrestler. I think he's very good at what he does. I think he's very good technically. I actually think if you put him in another position as a bit of a mouthpiece, or like a, as I always say, bodyguard, because that's disrespectful, but like a number two to like what he was with Roman, I think he could be really, really effective. I don't buy him as the leader of a group. And the trouble was that it was blatantly obvious that Jacob Fatu was far more interesting than Solo, and they kept them together for 4 months. And by that point, by the time they finished the feud, which then Solo technically won, then Jacob ended up off TV. And then they bring him back with this ridiculous thing with Drew McIntyre, and it's like, You were rude about someone. I don't like you. Punch. That's how we start our feud. And I'm like, seriously? Is that the best you can do? Like, what are the writers doing? So, and then obviously they've now written him out because I believe he's got some type of injury of some time, which is not helpful. But I would like to see WWE. I was saying this to one of the guys the other day that I'm friends with on here, that I would just like to see WWE bring Jacob back maybe now at the Royal Rumble and just have him, to quote the young people, wreck shop basically, and just absolutely tear through, and maybe even the win. He doesn't necessarily have to win the Rumble, but literally just have him be the guy that eliminates 15, 16 people, get into the final four, and then people will leave talking about Jacob, and then he could potentially win the Elimination Chamber, and perhaps he could face Cody. I don't know. Or now that we know Seth's injured, perhaps you could have CM Punk versus Jacob Fatu, which would be absolutely freaking awesome, by the way, at WrestleMania. That I would definitely be interested in seeing that. But yeah, I'm very disappointed with what WWE has done with Jacob because they've missed a really good opportunity there for me. Yep, Stormtrooper, absolutely, my friend. Very interesting cuts you have. Yeah, I've got. I'll have to show you guys next time. I've got a Sin City one. I've got a Pulp Fiction one. I've got loads of Liverpool cups. I've got a Chucky one, I want to say. 2 or 3 Star Wars. I've got Thundercats. If any of you guys know what Thundercats is, probably not because you're not old like me. What else have I got? I've got loads of Tarantinos. I think I've got a Reservoir Dogs one as well. So that's one of my kind of geeky things as well. So, Raymond, hello Raymond. How you doing, mate? You all right? You can't drink the water because the Stormtrooper misses every shot. Yeah, I see what you did there. Because you have diabetes, do you have to check your blood sugar or have something on your arm, or is that different? Not at the moment. I'm him, but at some point I need to go in for a referral, and they're going to let me know what I have to do to live with it, basically. So it will probably be the usual thing of, dude, you need to lose weight, and I'll be like, yeah, I'll lose weight, yeah, of course I will, and then I'll end up going out with the lads for like 20 million pints and 4 kebabs and forget all about it, basically. So, no, a lot of this was done back in the day because I believe it or not, I am quite a home-based guy now. Obviously, I do all the vlogs and stuff that you've seen, but like I like just being home with family now. But how do I put this politely? 15 to 20 years ago, that was very much not the case, is the politest thing I would say. You would be very lucky to see me in my house for more than 2 nights a week about 20 years ago, basically. I used to like going out with my friends a lot, put it that way. Logan, like I remember when he got slammed on the announce desk and got right back up. Yes, yeah. I remember that, mate. Yeah, it was like nothing Jacob's monster. Excuse me, and they should make him a heel. That I agree with as well. I definitely agree with that. Oh, just bear with me a second, Logan. Jacob is a beast, but I think there is better. Yeah, no, fair play, mate. I'm going to go to sleep. I'm trying to get an early night. Sorry, I'm doing something tomorrow. Not a problem at all, I'm in. Thanks for checking in, mate. You're an absolute star. Good luck with whatever you're doing tomorrow, mate. And I will see you on another live stream. I'm going to be on 3 or 4 times this week anyway, so just whenever you fancy, just drop in. So just have a good night, mate. Let me just go back to Logan to finish that. Next live, I will be. That's a very good. Oh yes. For anyone that's interested, I will be doing a live reaction to these guys at 10:30 tomorrow, which I am not looking forward to because I will no doubt be describing defeat number 5 by 7 goals or whatever the lads are going to serve up tomorrow. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, no, I'll be on about 10:30, mate, give or take. I'm hoping to see the second half. I might not. Maybe about 70 minutes. I'm going to miss at least 20 minutes. But yeah, no, I should be able to watch most of it after that. But yeah, I'll be on live afterwards. And then I'll probably be doing not a watch long, but I'll watch it at the same time as the Champions League highlights comes along, and then we can all have a chat and a beer or whatever. So yeah, just check in, mate, whenever you want to. Let me just go back to Logan, sorry, because I didn't finish that. Is a monster, they should make him a heel. Yeah, no, I was going to say, Logan, I would like them to bring Fatu back as a heel. Maybe not a maybe not like a miserable heel, but just have him coming back, just literally just destroying people. And I'd like him to do the same way that Stone Cold was a heel before he became babyface, just literally just having him do the most outrageous things and just. I know Jacob didn't use the stunner, but just using his finisher and just going in and just doing all sorts of diabolical stuff, because that way you're then turning babyface again. You can get him reheated. Um, but yeah, no, they need to do something for Jacob, because they cannot waste that sort of opportunity, that sort of level of talent. This is the other issue I've got with the way LA Knight's being treated. I'm not saying LA is as good as Jacob. I don't think he is for my money, but LA Knight is super over, and I don't understand this reluctance to push him. I'm not saying he should be. I'm not saying he should be the champion for every other day, but they need to give him a run with the belt at some point, because the crowd absolutely love this guy. I mean, in terms of how much merch he sells, I mean, I don't know, and I might be wrong on this. He's got to be in the top 10 biggest pro wrestling merch sellers in the world. He has to be, surely. Now, obviously not with retired ones, because obviously you can get people buying Rock and Austin shirts and so on and so forth. But I mean, in terms of active wrestlers, is what I mean. Surely he's got to be one of the top merch sellers in the world, and he's actually really good at wrestling as well. So I don't get this whole not using him, but like, hey, it's just my opinion. Logan again. We all know Braun Strowman, but yes, he was. Yes, he was another one that got wasted as well. Let's have a look. I'll check you tomorrow in a bit, and always remember, I'm Everton is. They certainly are. Hey, well, there must be, because we beat Everton this season. So yeah, nice one, Dave. We'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. LA Knight, yeah. I'm going to get back to the Raw review, folks, because I literally, I think I've only got half. There's not too much more to tell, to be honest. One quick thing that I wanted to mention was I love the Becky Lynch Paul Heyman promo. That was absolute gold, and I like the way that they've added some layers to the storyline now, because I love the way that Heyman threw out that little. Do you know? There's still room in the vision for you if you just want to go back to your husband and have him at home, and you can be riding with us. And it's kind of cool, because you kind of got in your brain now that, like, I don't think Becky Lynch will turn on Seth Rollins, because, I mean, for a start, it'd be pretty stupid, because obviously people see him in real life with the kids and stuff, unless they were going to commit to the gimmick so much whereby Seth and Becky, just for maybe a couple of months, don't live together. But being a married man myself, if I was to ask my wife a similar favour, I can't imagine that would go down especially well, to be honest. I don't think that would happen. But it's pretty cool that you've got it in your back pocket as an option, kind of thing. I mean, if Seth came back and then Bex turned on him, I mean, that would be absolutely insane, to be honest. I mean, obviously they've done it with Stephanie McMahon and Triple H back in the days. You can do it, but it's kind of, because all of us knew that back in the day, like, a lot of us knew, early dirt sheet internet geek people, that Triple H and Stephanie McMahon were seeing each other in 1999, 2000. I mean, it was common knowledge, basically. So, but WWE, funnily enough, they didn't actually acknowledge it on TV till, I want to say it was 2007, 2008. But yeah, they can do it, but I just thought the promo was really good, and I won't repeat what Becky Lynch referred to Paul Heyman as, but if you've not seen the promo, please go and see it, because it was hysterical beyond words. But yeah, that was really cool. You had Nick. What have you got next? You've got Vaquer versus Roxanne Perez. That was really good. I just want to repeat again, Roxanne Perez, for me, has to be in the running for Wrestler of the Year. She has been outstanding. I know she doesn't always win, and she's lost again, but like, that woman's work is absolutely outstanding. I think she's one of the most technically proficient wrestlers in the world. I really, really enjoy watching her, and she's a credit to herself. And yeah, for me, she's one of the top 5 wrestlers in the world this year. If you were gonna do like a top 10, by the way, I am going to do some Wrestler of the Year awards at the end of the year. I'm not sure how this is going to work exactly, but just keep an eye on the channel. But I'm going to try and do some wrestling award, like the Geekies or something like that, which is a really crap name actually. Just forget I said that, but yeah, I'm going to do that for wrestling and also for Liverpool at the end of the year. I've not quite worked out how I'm going to do it, but just stay with me on that. Yeah, but it was a really good match between her and Steph Fakir, and at the end, Steph wins. Roxanne and Raquel Rodriguez start attacking her. And then Nikki Bella came out for the save, and I got really excited because I was like, "Oh, someone's coming to rescue," and it's Nikki Bella. Oh, okay, fair enough. Sorry, I was never a Bella fan. I mean, well, how do I put this with my wife upstairs? Um, 15, 16 years ago, before I became entwined with the person upstairs, I was a fan of the Bellas, but not necessarily for their job work that they were doing at the time. I'm trying to be polite. Anyway, but yeah, I think that will probably end up with Nikki Bella against Steph Fakir, because it looked, the promo that they had afterwards looked so much like a heel promo to me. I might be wrong on that. There was a weird backstage thing with Bronson and Heyman. Like, I don't know if anyone else caught that, but when they were in that room and Bron sort of asked Heyman for an explanation as to what was going on, I didn't understand a word of Heyman's promo, which is really weird because he's one of the most articulate men in the world. But also as well, I forgot to mention that if anyone saw, just let me know in the comments if you see this on YouTube, podcasts or whatever, and the videos, because it will come out tomorrow. Did anyone understand what on earth Heyman was going on about in the first segment? I literally watched it twice, and my son watched it as well. And he was like, "Dad, what's Heyman talking about?" And I'm like, "I've got no idea." He was trying to justify why they attacked Rollins, and genuinely, I have absolutely no idea what the man was talking about. It was a bizarre promo. I don't know. I'm going to try and read a bit of analysis about it, and then I can draw my own conclusions. But last night, Heyman is usually very, very clear. I don't know if it was deliberate, because he seemed a bit jumpy as well. So I don't know if it's part of the storyline. But I didn't have a clue what he was talking about most of the night, to be honest. It was really, really odd, to be honest. There was a backstage with Lyra and Bayley. Bayley's going to give Lyra a surprise next week of some kind, so God knows what that's going to be. And then, obviously, at the end, let me just have a look. Jey Uso obviously won the Battle Royal. Sorry, guys. Like I said, if you've watched me for a while, you know I can't go like 5 minutes without a drink of water. I do apologise. It's not. I know it's really, really not cool to see on YouTube stream, but hey, yeah, the Jey Uso thing. I think it's very intriguing. It being him and Punk, if I can even say the phrase. I'm not sure. Out of all those wrestlers, and obviously if you're taking the Bronze out, taking Rawlins out, obviously Cena's not available and he won't be available soon at all. You take Roman out, and Cody's on the other show, and obviously Jacob Fatu's on that show. Obviously, then credible challengers who could go up against Punk. I wouldn't say there's none, but personally for me, and this is just me, I would have loved it to have been AJ Styles. I know he's a tag team champion now, but I would have loved to see, because AJ and Punk have to have some sort of thing before AJ goes, because they've not really even interacted. I think they might have had a couple of backstages, and obviously they did the Japan stuff last week when they were on tour. For me personally, out of all those options in the ring, I would have chosen AJ Styles, but that's just me because I love AJ. Storyline wise, I would have just gone with LA Knight, but I get why they're doing the thing with Jey Uso, because obviously they were going to have a feud with Rawlins and Punk. But I would imagine with this injury that they're talking about, I mean, I don't think Rawlins is going to be anywhere near back until, I think, if they don't announce the time frame, I mean, I think you struggle in seeing before the Royal Rumble. Perhaps he comes back and wins the Royal Rumble, I don't know, but maybe he even comes back at WrestleMania. But I've got a feeling, the way they're describing this, I think Seth could be out for a very long time. Like, I remember that injury that he got a few years ago, and he was out for literally like I'm gonna say it was a year or something daft like that, a year or um, 10 months or whatever. So I would have gone AJ Styles if not LA Knight, but obviously the Uso thing is intriguing now because obviously Jay threw Jimmy over the ropes, and now they look to have split up. Do they then lean into that and have Jimmy turn heel on Punk, and then both Usos turn heel again? Do they have Jimmy turn on Jay? Does it have something to do with Roman? Maybe, I don't know, because there was like no explanation given as to why Roman's disappeared. I mean, obviously it's only because he does a certain amount of days. That's another quite frustrating things as well, because WWE's left themselves in this position where they've got Brock pops in and out whenever he pleases. Roman does exactly the same. Obviously, Cena's now gone. The Rock just turns up whenever he fancies, and yeah, I mean, obviously, it's always been predicated on legends and stuff, but it is quite annoying when you want to get into a storyline. You get one person coming in, another person coming out. But anyway, but yeah, no, I'm happy enough Jey Uso won. I mean, I'm looking forward to Jey Uso versus CM Punk one-on-one. That should be good. If I was to give a prediction now without having given it much thought, I'm actually going to go with Jey Uso to go over. I still think they're going to keep Punk winning the title at WrestleMania as his big moment. Because when Punk wins at WrestleMania, it's going to be insane. Like, there's going to be so many people like crying away in the stadium, probably including yours truly. On the other hand, maybe they give it to Punk now. Maybe Punk loses it at the Royal Rumble, and then he gets it back at the Elimination Chamber, and then he can win it again at WrestleMania. I mean, I don't know, because I mean that would. I think Punk's up to 6 title wins now. I want to say with that cash-in thing with Rawlins the other day. So, I mean, maybe they sneak him up to like 7 or 8 title wins. I mean, dare I say, CM Punk is still 45 and Cena has just retired. And if you sneak Punk up to 8, then I won't say 8 is round the corner from 17, but it's not a million miles away. I don't know. I can't see that happening, obviously, but obviously as a Punk fan, I would rather him just win it straight away, and then they can do whatever storyline they want to. But yeah, no, I'll have to wait and see. I'm really looking forward to it. By the way, I'll be covering Saturday night's main event because I think we get it on YouTube as far as I'm aware. So yeah, I'll be covering it on the night. I want to say it's the 1st of November, so it's sort of Halloween weekend. I think that's also when the clocks go back as well. I can't remember. So that weekend's going to be insane. I'll tell you guys about that in a minute. But yeah, that's basically more or less that's it, folks. So I usually give a grade. I'm going to give Raw. I don't think it was as good as the last few weeks, but I thought again it was really excellent. Really enjoyed the show. But last week I think I gave the last 2 like A pluses. I'm gonna say B plus, very very close to an A minus. I'll go with B plus. I really enjoyed the show, but I don't think it was as good as last week, the Perth one. And match of the night was definitely for me the Dragon League, AJ Styles versus Madonna. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyed it. I'd like to give it to Roxanne Perez because, like I said, I don't want to keep going on about her, but I mean, she's absolutely brilliant. Honestly, she's absolutely brilliant. I didn't realise how talented that woman was, but she's insanely good. Um, I think the only other woman, the only other wrestler, excuse me, that I am actually more higher on the moment, because obviously I watch AEW as well. Obviously, I love Osprey and Strickland, but like I really love Tekla as well. Like I'm pretty obsessed with Tekla. Like ever since she debuted, I was like, wow, who is that girl? She's so good. It's just absolutely amazing. But yeah, that's AEW, so I won't go down that road. Yeah, let me just read a couple of comments. This Jey Uso is becoming a little version of. Yeah, I think that's the storyline they're going with, isn't it? I mean, I just wonder whether. See, I can't imagine Roman's going to come back and help Jay and Jimmy screw over Punk, because if Jay won the title does that mean they now have a bloodline that Jey Uso is the champion, but Roman is the tribal chief? I mean, I suppose actually that might be quite interesting because you would have an immediate conflict straight away because people would be like, well, I'm the tribal chief. It's like, yeah, but there's only three of us and I'm the world heavyweight champion. That supersedes your tribal chief. I don't know, maybe you something to do with The Rock. I mean, I wouldn't have thought so, to be honest, but this is the good thing now with this thing with Jay and the good thing with the Vision. There's so many of these inter, interconnected storylines that you've got that can go all over the place now. So, yeah, it is quite exciting, actually. So, Teddy Klinsman, what a name that is, dude. Oh God, what a player he was. Mate, it's non-starter. Oh, okay, fair enough, cool. But no joking, Ted. Let me read. I think Jay goes over at Saturday night's main event. Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I'd love Punk to win. Obviously, as a Punk fan, but I'd love CM Punk for like. I know he's not always people's cup of tea. I I've liked the man for about 15 years because I don't want to go about personal stuff, but like he was when it was Summer of Punk when he did the pipe bomb and then did the cash in with Money in the Bank. I was going through quite a difficult time, and he was one of those people, not directly, that sort of helped me and stuff, and got me out of a really crappy situation. Basically, kind of the same thing with Stone Cold as well, because my father died when Austin was just getting really, really hot. And I know it sounds really, really stupid, but Stone Cold Steve Austin is one of the only reasons. I wouldn't say why I'm still here, but he's one of the only reasons I got through that. And I was going through a really tough time at the same time as Punk was doing Summer of Punk, and kind of he got me through that as well. So this is why I've always loved pro wrestling, because it's one of these things, and people who aren't wrestling fans are like, oh, what are you talking about? But it can still inspire you, and it can still be, I don't know, inspirational to you, whatever. Anyway, let's have a look. I love Punk. Ah, good man, good man. I actually saw CM Punk Teddy about 2 months ago at the Leeds First Direct Arena. And it was amazing. I've seen him 3 times, I want to say now. I saw him in Nottingham in 2011. I want to say, I think it was CM Punk versus Nick Nemeth, or who it was, Dolph Ziggler at the time. I think I've seen him against Del Rio, possibly, and I've just seen him, Penta, and Sami Zayn versus Dom, Finn, and JD about 2 months ago. By the way, cheap plug, that is available to watch as a vlog if you want to like and subscribe to my channel. But honestly, you don't have to. But it's there if you want to look at it, basically. And there's a load of AEW and wrestling content as well if people want to peruse. But honestly, don't feel pressured. It's there if you want to anyway. But yeah, no, dude. Honestly, I love CM Punk, and I kind of get where people are coming from with him, because a lot of people think he's. I'm not going to go into politics or whatever, because I do not do that on this show, and I'm not interested at all. I want to enjoy my life and not get involved in that sort of stuff. But like, a lot of people find Punk to be quite not two-faced, but he's got like opinions that contradict other opinions. But that's kind of why I like him, because it's like, guys, that's real life. Like, we've all got something as human beings, we've all got something that contradicts something else, you know what I mean? So like sometimes you can't just be straight down the middle, and that's what I like about him. Like he will admit if he's done something wrong. Not all the time, because Punks can be a bit of an arse, but like if he's done something wrong, he'll apologise. You know what I mean? And then even years later, he'll look back and go, do you know what, maybe I should have done that better. Or he'll stick to his guns and say, no, I was right. You know what I mean? So I love the guy, mate. I absolutely love him. And yeah, it was amazing when he came back in AEW. That was the other match I saw him in. So I won't go on for long about this, but the fourth match I saw CM Punk in was AEW All In at Wembley Arena against Samoa Joe, and yes, that was the night when he did the thing. As it turned out, I didn't realise this at the time, but where I was situated, because obviously Wembley's got loads of tiers, I was kind of the upper tier, but if you went down like in a straight line, I was basically about, I don't know, I'm going to say 100 feet, 200 feet away from where CM Punk and Jack Perry were having that little scrap. And at the time, no one knew. So, like, literally, I'd just seen Samoa Joe and CM Punk have an absolute banger. That match was insane. That's also on the channel, by the way. Sorry, I'll be quiet in a minute. But it is on the channel if you want to have a look. And then I get back to my hotel in London. So everyone's really enjoyed AEW. I start uploading all my videos, have a really good night, couple of drinks, go to bed, and then I wake up and there's all these alerts. CM Punk's being fired, and I'm like, what is going on? Then someone, obviously the reports came through about what had happened. I was like, oh crap, basically. So I have actually seen Punk for a fourth time, but the third time was not necessarily. It wasn't necessarily his finest hour. I mean, I don't think the staff at AEW covered themselves in glory by any stretch of the imagination either. But yeah, there was fault on both sides. But yes, but yeah, I've seen him loads of times, and like I said, I just love the guy. I think he's brilliant. So I really just hope he beats Jey Uso, to be quite honest. But I hear you, dude. I think Jey Uso goes over. I don't see a world where CM Punk wins. I mean, the other factor as well is maybe the Vision still go after Punk without Rollins, because obviously he still had his problems with Braun and with Heyman and Breaker, and maybe that's the feud that keeps Punk out of the title picture for a while. Maybe Punk finds a partner to work with, like maybe they finally do that match that we're going to have with him and Roman against the Vision. I don't know, maybe they can come back and do it for Survivor Series or whatever, who knows. But you never know, maybe the Bloodline and Vision join together. Imagine that, crikey. No, that ain't gonna happen, but still. Anyway, I'll stop going on. I hear you, mate. I was suspended. I was suspended during the Summer of Punk. Well, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, my thing was slightly worse than yours. Is the politest thing I'm going to say, but not in that context. It was a thing that I was going through at the time, which wasn't great. Basically, I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, I wasn't having a much better time than you did, to be honest. Just subs. Oh, thank you, Teddy. That's really nice of you, mate. Honestly, no pressure or anything. Like I said, I just like speaking to people about pro wrestling. So like these sort of end up as like raw wrap ups, but it ends up with me just talking to like minded people and pro wrestling. I love talking about that with you guys and stuff because, like, I honestly, I love wrestling so much. It's been literally part of my life since 1988, I think. So I've been watching pro wrestling for like 30, I don't know, 35, 36 years or something along those lines. I mean, I can't imagine not watching these guys, but at the same time, as stupid as it sounds, I can't imagine not watching pro wrestling at all. I mean, there was a period of time when obviously I was a WWE guy, and after Austin and The Rock left in about 2002, then they went to Ruthless Aggression in 2004, and it went kind of PG. It lost me for a bit then, I must admit, and then obviously TNA came into the picture, so I started like watching that, and then they had the whole fiasco with certain people joining them, shall we say. And I kind of fell off it a bit, and then Punk, like I said, again, I don't want to keep going about Punk, but he was the guy that kind of brought me back in, and then he left, and I was kind of like, oh. And then, I don't know, I kind of found other people, like I kind of found Becky Lynch was a big thing as well, like when she got her nose busted open, and she was stood at the top of the ramp when Nia opened her up, and she was like, come on, like this. I was just like, wow, I really like this girl, she's awesome. So and then AEW started, and I've got a lot more back into it now. And then, obviously, now I'm kind of wanting to. I'm not going to lie. I kind of want to do what I'm doing now as a career at some point. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But because of that aim, I kind of watch wrestling all the time now. I'm going to start trying to watch TNA if I can do it. I'd love to watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, but there's only so many hours in the day, so. Yeah, no, that'll be awesome. But yeah, no, thank you very much for that, mate. That genuinely thank you. It's nice to hear, so thank you, mate. It's a pleasure talking to you as well, my man. yeah, that was a bit emotional, folks, wasn't it? So, yeah, just to let you guys know, that's basically it for the wrap up. I'm just gonna read what I've got coming up because, again, really sorry, I'm not one of these people that can just do it off the top of my head, and I'd rather have a guide here to tell you guys about what I'm up to, as opposed to just making crap up off the top of my head, basically. So yes, so just to say for everyone who are new subscribers and this, that, and the other, and who might have just come across my stuff, basically I cover wrestling a lot. That's probably one of my main things, but I also do. Let me think. All my playlists start with Geek Boy Does. So there's Geek Boy Does Pride, Geek Boy Does Liverpool, Geek Boy Does Football. The football one is where I go around football stadiums and stuff. If anyone's interested in that. Geek Boy Does Toy Hunts. I'm a massive toy collector, a massive wrestling figure toy collector. I've literally got hundreds of wrestling figures. I might do a vlog about that one day if anyone's interested. Um, Geek Boy does Comic Cons. Again, I just love like geek culture and all that sort of stuff. Geek Boy does horror. Dude, I'm like one of the biggest horror fans that you'll ever see. In fact, I'm going to watch a horror movie tonight. Probably Evil Dead Rise. I haven't decided yet. Um, and what else do I do? I do three podcasts. One is Geek Boy, a Liverpool story, Geek Boy a wrestling story, which this will end up being on Geek Boy a wrestling story. So like I said, all of these videos will end up as like podcasts that you can listen to. And then there's Geek Boy film. It's either a film story or a movie story. You'd think I'd know my own podcast names, wouldn't you? But it's Geek Boy a movie story, I think it is, and that's just periodically when I see a film I want to see, like Weapons or Fantastic Four or Black Phone or something like that. So the reason I was telling you that was I can't actually remember the reason I'm telling you that. Well, anyway, basically that's what I do. So yeah, if anyone wants to like and subscribe, you're more than welcome to. If you just want to, if any of you just want to come here genuinely and just chat wrestling and you don't want to subscribe, I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, like and subscribe. If you just want to come on my channel and chat wrestling, I'm more than happy to have you because like I love pro wrestling. I really do, and it's like other than these guys and my family and missus obviously, uh, pro wrestling means the world to me. Like I said, the highest compliment I can pay was when Stone Cold Steve Austin got me through the death of my father, and I mean, I've loved it ever since then, basically. So yeah, if anyone ever wants to just come on the channel, don't want to subscribe, and if you just want to chat with wrestling to me for an hour and a half, you are always more than welcome to do so. So just yeah, cheers for that, guys. In terms of stuff that I've got coming up, I'm gonna be going. Let me have a look at my schedule. I'm gonna be going live tomorrow, apparently for. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna be doing live reaction to Liverpool versus Frankfurt, which I'm really looking forward to that one. Um, I'm going to be doing a live stream from Leeds, so that's the city that I live in. If you're abroad, Leeds is a city in West Yorkshire in England. And we do this thing called Light Night. I've not covered it live before, but basically it's this cool thing where you like um, shine lights on buildings. It's a lot more cool than where I've it's like projected images and stuff, and they're all over the city. So I'm gonna do a live stream of that on Thursday night, hopefully, and hopefully the stream will carry on because sometimes it will break. But I'll try and see what I can do for you. Wrestling fan wise, if any of you are AEW fans, I will be back on at 10:30 on Thursday with the live reaction to AEW Dynamite. That's always going to be 10:30 at Thursday. This Saturday, I should be going to Hull Horror Fest if you're a horror fan. Again, that's all under Geek Boy Does Horror if you want to check it out. Horror Fest is like this cool thing. It's like a Comic Con, but for like horror fans. So, like, if any of you are interested in horror, I'm going to be doing that on Saturday, I think, but it may have to be cancelled. I'm not too sure about that one. But I will definitely be on Saturday night, excuse me, for Brentford versus Liverpool reaction. SmackDown I usually do on a Saturday night, but I've had to do the Brentford and Liverpool live reaction because there's no other time that I can do it. If I can, if I can, I'll still try and do SmackDown live reaction if I can. I might be able to do it on Sunday, but obviously that's 2 days out from when SmackDown airs, so I don't know how much point there would be, to be honest. But and then obviously Monday Night Raw. I'm going to be doing it mostly at 10:30 on a Tuesday. Every now and again, I might still be able to do it live directly after Monday Night Raw's finished, but only on days off and stuff, because obviously I do have a, excuse me, I do have a normal job myself. So, but yeah, that's everything that's coming up, folks. Basically, is there anything else I need to tell you guys? I'm just having a look. Anything else at all? No, I don't think so. So, just to end on wrestling, basically, just to let you guys know, if you're just into WWE, I'll be back on properly this time next week for Monday Night Raw reaction, and then the week after it will be the normal SmackDown. Will it be the normal SmackDown one? I'm not sure because I think Liverpool are playing Aston Villa that night, so I don't know. There might not be a SmackDown one for a while. I'll try and do something like a vlog or something with SmackDown, but that's usually on Saturday night. Like I said, AW Dynamite reactions on the Thursday night at 10:30. So, like I said, I do 3, 4, 2 or 3, sometimes 4 wrestling shows a week because obviously I just love it so much. I love AEW as well. So that'll be coming up next week. Like I said, if any of you are interested at all in my wrestling stuff, I've got all 3 AEW appearances at London. So I've got the first 2 at Wembley, and then the third one that just happened at Forbidden Door at the O2 Arena. I've got highlights and vlogs from WWE Sheffield and WWE Leeds. So that's available to watch. I've got highlights from Rev Pro Wrestling, which is a UK independent promotion where Will Ospreay's wrestled and Michael Echo currently wrestles for as well. So that's on there as well. And there's wrestling shorts, there's analysis, and there's like toy shorts and this, that, and the other. So that's all under Geek Boy. What the hell is my playlist called? Geek Boy Does Wrestling, and if not, there is also Geek Boy A Wrestling Story, and like I said, that's the podcast that this will end up as part of, basically. So yeah, that's everything I do. So yeah, I think that's it, folks. So yeah, no, I've really enjoyed tonight. Thanks very much. Special shout out, Teddy. Really, really, thank you very much for that. That meant a lot to me. That comment, mate. That's really, really nice of you. Thank you so much. I'm him, absolute ledge. And everyone else that I've interacted with today. It's really, really, really cool. Like I said, just to say again, if you ever see me, you're on live and you don't want to subscribe, but you just want to chat about wrestling, like, don't feel under pressure, and if you don't have to subscribe at all, just I mean, if you do want to do, that'd be awesome, by the way. But honestly, no pressure. Just if you want to come and just chat with me about wrestling, I'm more than happy to do, because like I say, it's my passion. I love pro wrestling, and yeah, it saved my life a few times. So yeah, it's just a genuine pleasure to talk about it. So yeah, cool, nice one. Before I get too emotional, I'm going to say to everyone, have a fantastic rest of your evening, enjoy your week, and for some of you, I will see you tomorrow for the wonderful live Liverpool versus Eintracht Frankfurt reaction, which I'm sure is going to be absolutely hysterically awful. Then again, we might win. Then again, oh look, there's a pig flying. Anyway, yeah, cool, nice one. Thanks everyone for watching. Like I said, this will be available on YouTube Sounds. Hopefully midday tomorrow, and it'll be available as a video to watch as well. Again, hopefully that midday. So cool. Thank you very much, everyone, and I will speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching.